Amelia offered her hand to the pained Javier to squeeze for relief, but he refused, worried he'd hurt her.
Don't. I'll end up breaking your fingers.
Seeing the misery in his eyes, she desperately turned to the doctor. Dr. Marquez, is there no way to lessen his pain? The doctor frowned.
I'm applying the ointment as gently as possible, but I'm afraid the pain is unavoidable.
Unable to stand idly by, Amelia used a cool towel to wipe the sweat from his brow. I'll stay and talk to you then, she said softly, to distract your mind from the pain. What should we chat about? Or I could tell you a story. Amelia's kindness did not go unnoticed. Even Dr. Marquez, who was busy at work, cast them an amused glance. Javier's eyes narrowed as he fought the agony.
You really want to help divert the pain?
Without hesitation, she nodded. Of course, tell me what to do. His strained voice was husky and deep.
I have an idea. Come closer.
Despite the situation, he sounded inexplicably alluring. She bent slightly toward him. Like this?
Lower,
he directed. She leaned in more, then froze once their faces were barely a foot apart. Any closer, and they'd be too close. Seeing her hesitation, he urged her to come nearer.
All the way, like you mean it, remember?
Was he serious? She had no concept of how much time had passed, but they both forgot they weren't alone in the room until the good doctor broke the spell with a deliberate cough.
All right, you two. The application is complete.
Dr. Marquez stood awkwardly by, exasperated by their blatant disregard for his existence. Amelia stiffened when she crashed back to reality and embarrassment washed over her. Her wide, flustered eyes darted away from the two men and she fled to the bathroom. Dr. Marquez turned to Javier and smirked.
I'm starting to feel unneeded here. I should notify the medical journals of this new method of pain management you've pioneered.
Javier furrowed his brow and stared at his friend dryly.
Don't know what you mean. Must be the meds you put me on is messing with my head.
Dr. Marquez chuckled to himself.
Sure, let's go with that excuse.
Amelia couldn't believe what just happened as she paced circles in the bathroom. She'd completely forgotten there was a third person in the room. If she'd been a real nurse, her license would have been revoked right then and there. What is wrong with you? This is insane, she whispered to herself. Even in critical condition, that man is and she was for letting him lure her in with that pain relief stunt. Unable to calm down, she cursed her heart for pounding so wildly it refused to subside. What was happening? Could it be that she was falling for him? No, absolutely not. This was nothing more than a classic case of the Florence Nightingale effect. She slapped her cheeks to shake it off. Stay rational, Amelia. Their current situation was a fluke, after all. If it weren't for Max, their paths wouldn't have crossed in 100 lifetimes. If she allowed herself to fall for him now, she'd be no different from the countless women who admire him from afar. It'd be a fool's dream. Despite her determination, an inexplicable sadness crept into her chest, but she refused to examine it further. When she left the bathroom, she ran into Dr. Marquez in the hallway. He bid her goodbye, and curiosity suddenly filled his eyes.
You two are dating, aren't you?
Dating? No, we're not, she stammered in denial. The doctor grinned, unconvinced.
Javier is a good friend of mine. He may put up a gruff front, but once you get to know him, you'll find he fiercely spoils and protects those he loves. Not hard to fall for the guy, is it?
Ignoring the nosy doctor's words, Amelia turned on her heel and quickly left. In all their 10 years of friendship, Dr. Marquez had never seen Javier this taken with someone. Despite his protests, it was clear he held her in high regard. So naturally, Marquez was tempted to play Cupid. The doctor's words were true. Falling for a handsome prince was indeed an easy thing to do. If Amelia continued to be so ambiguously close to him, she knew she might lose not just her heart, but also her sanity. But Amelia was cautious by nature, and not someone to dive into danger like a moth to a flame. So, from that day on, she consciously maintained a safe distance from the prince. Thankfully, as Javier regained his strength, he became busier and began to use his recovery room as a workspace. Victor came to brief him. Now that 4 consecutive days had passed without a public appearance from the prince, both domestic and international speculations began to rise, so they had to brainstorm a way to address the issue. On the 5th day in the recovery house, Amelia was in the kitchen, preparing Javier's next round of medication, when her phone suddenly lit up with a call from her blind date, Tomas. She paused, having forgotten all about her blind date in the midst of the bombing and nursing Javier. It had been almost a week since their first meeting, so she assumed there wouldn't be any follow-up. "Hello?" she answered.
Are you at work? I'm outside of the Council of Foreign Affairs. Come say hi. I'll treat you to boba tea.
His friendly voice was refreshing to hear, but the reminder of her internship stung her. I'm actually not there. I was cut from the internship for missing the certification exam," she admitted, feeling slightly awkward.
Oh, but you were so serious about your studies.
"It's a long story," Amelia replied with disappointment. "I had an emergency and they refused to give me a makeup exam. It's fine. I'm already sending out resumes."
Well, you're very talented. It's only a matter of time before you get snatched up.
Thomas said encouragingly.
How about I take you to dinner tonight to lift your spirits?
"In your bright red sports car?" she teased.
Well, if you don't like it, I'll swap it out.
He joked.
What's your favorite color?
Amelia chuckled. "It's not that. I've just been busy lately, so I can't today." Though she enjoyed his company, Amelia's plate was full between her current responsibilities and her job search.
Tomorrow, then.
He asked, "Can we look at next week?"
All right. Next week. It's a date.
Thomas declared. "A date it is," she said. But as she spoke, she turned to see Javier in the doorway, on his feet, and she shouted in shock. "What are you doing?"
What?
Thomas asked, confused. "Oh, sorry, I have to go. Bye." She ended the call hastily. Every step Javier took seemed labored and painful. Still, he had managed to walk to the kitchen. Sweat dotted his pale forehead from the effort. Fearing he might fall, Amelia ran to his side and banged her waist on the corner of the counter in her haste. She winced and clutched her side, but didn't stop until she grabbed his arm to steady him. "Why did you come out? The doctor said you need to rest in bed." "I have to appear in public tomorrow, so I have to adjust to the pain," he replied evenly. "You're going out to face the media tomorrow?" Her brow furrowed with concern. "Yes." "But your condition, you're still healing. Standing for too long will only aggravate your injuries, at the risk of infection." She trailed off as Javier studied her intently. Her obvious concern somehow dulled the sharp edge of his pain. His lips curved faintly as he asked, "How's your side?" "What?" she asked, puzzled. He gave her a pointed look, then hooked his finger in her belt loop and pulled her to him. "Careful," she stiffened, bracing her hands against his shoulders to avoid bumping into his wounds. Ignoring her panic, Javier's palm slid to the spot on her waist that collided with the counter, and he gently massaged the sore area. She winced. Hurts a little," she admitted softly, her brows knitting together. For days, she successfully maintained a safe distance from him. Yet, with his first steps since the accident, he chose to come so close that she could see every detail of him. His dark eyes, the curve of his lips, and the strong, firm fingers that were currently touching her. Was this man a seductress in his past life? Everything about him was magnetizing. She quickly averted her gaze. It's fine now, thank you. Javier removed his hand.
What happened to your job?
What? She didn't expect the sudden question.
I overheard your call. Foreign Affairs cut you?
She wished he hadn't heard that conversation. Now I know where your son gets it from. It's rude to listen to other people's phone calls. Javier rolled his eyes.
Just tell me.
Amelia exhaled. The day you got injured and Victor summoned me here was the day of my certification exam. So I wasn't able to take it and they dropped me.
To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.